mean, it's unfortunate, say, Kotoko. I mean, you've not asked me about them, but I think that, say, a defining Ghana footballer, you need to look at both Hearts of Oak and Kotoko. Almost say in the modern era, quite a number of other clubs are back up. But you can't take it from these two traditional giants of the game in Ghana. They, for me, if those two clubs are in good form and in fine health, your football has a stronger appeal, especially to corporate Ghana. So it's always a desire. Say the two clubs would be in good form. Obviously, we all stand on different sides of the divide. But when it is that you have a proper Hearts Kotoko game, the tensions are there. The quality of players are there. The excitement is there. The energy is there. There's no way sponsors will not want to get involved. And I like to liken it to what our president Keto Kreku said about changing the game. It's a game changer. If you get Hearts and Kotoko to the levels where they used to be, other clubs also feed off it. Those clubs know say one biggest gate. You will get your gate. So it's in the interest of your game for these clubs to be healthy. That's why it's sad that Kotoko are falling out again at this point. We're looking for 2 slots each for CAF Confederations Cup and CAF Champions League. We were there in the early 2000s, and we can still get there. My prayer is that with the election of our new executive led by Keto Kreku and the kinds of things that he talked about in the manifesto, we'll begin to see a revival of our local game, the energy of the game, the spirit of the game, the passion of the game. Ebema supporters, Beko Stadium, knowing that this game, the match I'm going to watch, the result is in suspense, and that's what I'm looking forward to. We talk about game changer. And game changing is not an easy thing. And I like Kate's manifesto. It is a comprehensive manifesto, all the way up to court football. The debate whether court football is relevant in today, and I say it's fully relevant. I mean, we've had that debate. It's very relevant, but the way I and support the Bema communities is where we really need to look at it. What kind of infrastructure do they need? What kind of logistical support, however little it is, can we give to them? What kind of incentives can we get to them? What kind of corporate support can we get for them from the level of the FA? I believe, if we go with that direction, coast football shall come up again. The boys will still go to school. Even we say coast football, encourage koboloism. Koboloism, it is my coining of uye kobolo. You are practicing koboloism. Say ubebo ball unko school. But today, virtually all our kids are in school. Where it's not that pronounced, the manifesto that Ked put out was there was to say Obibi Obebo course, still Obebo school. So there's a way of marrying going to school with playing the game. Because it's true. I mean, the more you educate a child, the more he appreciates the rudiments of the game, the more he understands the science of the game. And who knows, after the game, Obenya future in the game. So there's everything going for education through football. And I believe that that's part of the manifesto that we're all looking forward to be part of its execution.
But where the Yemisa Kotokoni has in some, be believe as a Mofuma, Eshibi Baku, the husband Kotokobe, the Kotokobe has been. Elections now has to strip or see you of voting rights and check Kotoko the same thing. What is it with these two clubs?
Oh, well, for me, I'd rather not comment on that. I mean, it's a decision of WOMO boards, you may want to do a deeper trend analysis, I mean, across. Sure. One example, if you study the trend that is consistent for, let's say, 4 or 5 instances, maybe I'll bet you can say a trend. But the fact of the matter is that, I mean, to support or in agreement with your point, Hearts and Kotoko, they are rival clubs. And rival clubs, they watch each other and either they try to copy or outdo each other. And to say it means that rivalry is still there. That rivalry was there from creation. It will be there to revelation until we all leave this planet. The rivalry will be there. Its intensity in Arabia and Shedan very strong in today's modern game. But the fact of the matter is that these are the sworn rivals of Ghana football. They are the Real Madrid and Barcelona of this country. They are the Bayern Munich and Dortmund of Germany. They are the Liverpool and Manchester United of England. I mean, others may debate it, but that is that kind of rivalry that exists between Hearts of Oak and Kotoko. And so you may be right in the sense, what Hearts do, Kotoko try to emulate. What Kotoko do, Hearts try to emulate. But on the negative side, I don't think that deliberately go out there to try to emulate each other or copy each other. No, I would just say we'll put what you described down to decisions of 2 boards of directors under the leadership. In the instant around the election, they decided that this was the best that they needed to do for their clubs, and they went ahead to do it. We don't know near core into deciding to take their CEOs off the voting or have their voting rights. We don't know. Until we ask, we cannot know. When could be Inti yembisa no yenim. And so we leave it at the discretion of the leadership.
What follow Kakra in recent days?
We follow football. We follow football in general. Hearts, Kotoko, Olympics, Kingfisher, Azakes, Wise. We follow Bia.
You've managed one of the biggest clubs in Ghana.
Yes.
Sometimes this is how I'm taking it. Yeah, war as in we might only react. What goes into sacking a coach, appointing a coach, and especially bringing an expatriate coach? Never been a Como.
Oh well, it's
not specific to any other era, but never been a Como at that level.
Well, at the end of the bottom line is that Obibia will lead these clubs, at the level of the directors, because usually for a high-profile appointment, a directors need a high-profile appointment. So if you talk about a coach, as you mentioned, it's about the philosophy of the club at the time. The leadership have a certain vision of the club. Omu pese club no indro and pensobia supporters and omunebeji club no.
Sure.
So based upon that, they appoint a coach. When the coach comes in, you give the coach no performance criteria, no performance indices. By such and such a time, they say you drew her. By this time, you drew her. Another time, you drew her. Within there also, there's a code of conduct. Usually, the clubs would have for their technical team, including the coach. So these are the aspects of appointment of coach. Clubs, at least I can talk for the Hearts of Folk perspective. Quite a number of about what goes into their appointments, and it's similar considerations. A coach that can absorb and handle for the likes of Hearts and Kotoko the tradition of the club, because those traditions go very, very deep. And we a coach at Ubemu, I won't person obey respect our traditions now. You can be sure say obey your position, and so it's part of the consideration that goes into appointing coach. And I'm speaking specifically for both Hearts of Folk and Kotoko. The volume of support, the sheer volume of supporters, I want to say, if you were playing in another club, I won't mention a name, you wouldn't get the kind of noise, in quotes, you wouldn't get the same than if you are playing for Hearts or Kotoko. So all these things go into the type of coach a bit handling that Hearts or Kotoko. So these are a few of the factors that come into getting the coaching. Now the coach comes in to say also handle relationship with supporters, handling the bridge between supporters and leadership. And also can say leaders coach nejuma or yeah. And at some points in the lives of the coaches in the clubs, the leaders may think that the mix is not working well, and then the leadership take decisions. Sometimes they've worked out well, sometimes they've not worked out well, but you need to live with the consequences of good decisions. If you take a decision and working well, you find a way to manage it and then move forward.
Okay.
Executive committee 2 years and some months. On to no bonus, you say or qualify, but Ombra on to no meshemechi, Namfan crack. Semi Anamijin was executive committee. Other semi so beto me. Ndo see a piano crack. I didn't rebeso. Emre soon as or qual bia because with their kettles or kakra on train. I'm the only person in this competition. I'm me one of the people in this competition. We were very good heart, and I expect and respect and love all. I hold nothing against anybody, and I wish Obia beat me a contested because I knew I was going to beat Obia fairly, squarely. Because I wanted Palmer to come because I know say you both abandon say pe omo olim onimo the maximum when you are 10 or 15. I'm telling you, me say Okamwa when you are 10 or 15 because I'm challenging them for votes. No more from one beto abano. I ask them who they are going to vote for. I'm just telling you because I know maximum.
Ghana FA elections. Neil, your overall impressions, elections, campaign, manifesto launch, the BBR.
For manifesto launch, let's start from manifesto launches. Those were exciting times. Okay, 2011, something similar. Not the same level because at least we've gone 8 years down the line. But it was refreshing to see candidates taking on this whole idea of manifesto. For me, it talked about the fact that in our football, at least at the level of the leadership, we are beginning to look more towards concepts, towards the idea of how to run the game, rather than just having a populist movement running behind you. Because everybody was talking about issues that were very pertinent to the game. And again, it brought football, Ghana football, closer to the hearts of the supporters. The biggest stakeholders in the game are the fans. So who they will plans, editor or Mwenima, they can now have a way of measuring your output once it is what you elected will say obey FA president. So the manifesto launches were great. The contest of ideas, I enjoyed them. Some of the comments that were passed were quite interesting. But when we say election more, there's a lot of confidence that you have to show to your supporters. So sometimes you hear the posturing of the candidates, and they don't have a choice. They need to let the supporters feel, say, Charlie, you dumb supporters say, your energy. We are the ones who are leading the pack, and sometimes that communicates certainly to the delegates in the Congress. Because mind you, after all the public posturing, you know, 120 congressmen and women, which happened at the College of Physicians and Surgeons. So manifestos good, messages not too dissimilar, but different coinages, different themes. There was revival, there was restoration, there was igniting. At the end of the day, the underlying theme of Omunina Mukane say football clearly needed a spark. It needed something to take us to the next level. Come to election day. Election day was a good day.
George soundbite you. Now I can't be here now.
Of course, I mean when I hear about women, I remember a very, very nice time in 2011. I can laugh about it today, but not easy. Oh no, but you see, and at that time, what did I say? Make answer.
My life and time are not in the hands of
it is scripture, and I believe it completely. So bibia yebe you ama yebe to so aba so be lead Ghana football no. It's not in that. It may look like in the hands of man, but when, in my view, and this is my personal view, it's a very subjective belief. It's a belief matter. I mean, to me, balancing. Me believe it say Nyankopon ne osihini. Until bibia obe accord the right to install or hini. He seems to be contesting with God. I've chosen my words carefully. I may say, only Nyankopon per more contest. And when it comes to that point, God will overcome you. You know, so I heard, and I mean, George will testify. My friend, no. He said, hey, now say when I walk, okay. He said, oh, he didn't say it exactly that. I said, 8 years ago, all right, our brother said a similar thing. He won at the time. And we all wished and kept watching the success. But what happened in the long run? So those things must be lessons from the past. Okay? And I salute George. He fought a good fight. At the end, he was very gracious. Time I got third round, say I see a concede, and I thought it was a good thing to do in that moment. But in the build-up to the election, deciding that it is not somebody's time, I believe that it is God that decides timings. I don't make any apology for that. I know how my life has been. My Abraham Bono. Many places are and points in time. A little advice from one more. They advise me along the lines of scripture. I know there are certain mistakes I made that I wouldn't have made. I talk from experience, and I'm not shy to say it. If you are called to yourself, God will show you that He's the overall person, and He made the game changer win the game.
Just to teach a lesson.
Well, I'm not God to say that. God knows. God is the one to speak for Himself. I just speak out of observation. It was
on
a
the
very
first
tough
Congress,
fight.
election day.
Oh, it was a very well organized Congress. Me feel say organization come up. We say board normalization committee for Bosuo and the electoral commission officials from Obaho. They did a very good job.
Any GMA BC.
Beg your pardon.
Any GMA, Global Media Alliance.
For me, Global Media Alliance, more even the debates. Oh yeah, it was super. I remember I started, was it a sister station? Was it Gold at the time? Many President Nyantechi and then one other person. Yeah, called something, some mini one. I say, a debate. But it was this was on the grand stage, well organized, branding, solid, and the nation's eyes were upon Ghana football. And I think it was a good advert again for the game in the sense that those who were testing for the presidency were able to show. I mean, they more out with one more plans, no, one more contest, one more ideas. Will be debate. We now we are rebutting. I mean, it was very nice. I share a lot of the foreign media, especially CNN and Fox. I watched the debates also that they conduct, and I think that the quality of your debates was good. It brought a lot more energy and attention to to the sport. It just proves that, in as much as we also want to promote to other sports, every country has sport. Again, the number one sport, and we can't run away from the fact that in Ghana, the number one sport is football. But I just say that just to let other sports know, say, and football and I think that having done it for football where it's possible, the likes of GM and other media houses should take up the challenge. They picture other sports. Meaning say that's not what our focus is for this morning, but it's good to say it now that there are other sports that could also do so well. All right, for our nation. I talk about a concept I'm referring to, the comparative advantage, Bro Fokasa, the comparative advantage of nations. Say, am I no edian masa amino ejina ho edian masa sa amino sunku. For me, one of the things that Emma Ghana is football. There's also boxing. I mean, there's a rising of weightlifting. There's a rising of arm wrestling. There's a rising of beach soccer. There's hockey that has done so well. There's even cricket. That day I was checking cricket. Look, our women's football, were the first. Again, it comes back to football. They were the first to qualify for a World Cup. But how many of us really consciously remember that? And I think those are aspects of your game. And to me, Pejana, it improves and enhances the image of Ghana, all right, and pushes our advantage as a sporting nation. And through that sporting advantage, we get tourists coming to say, where's the country of such and such a player? Where's the country of such and such an athlete? Those are the things that we feel saying as media people and those who are practitioners of your sports. Ultimately, I drink course our sites now. Game, but we're talking about the floor of Congress. So elections went very well. I think there are 3 times. I didn't see. I think it was on Happy FM. I can't say me who third round, me who second round. Because it was too tight. It was true, say, Binum Apple start to say, then one touch. But if you went into the minds of the delegates, and I talked to quite a number of them, people who I perceived were on different sides of the divide, it was very obvious, say, on that day, it was going to be a very big surprise, to me especially, say, game election at one touch. I thought the second round would go, but I didn't think it would get to third round. And I think it's credit to the work that Nana Yamponsa did, that his delegates virtually became the kingmakers for Ghana football. And kudos to him, kudos to Fred Papo, kudos to Amanda Clinton, kudos to lawyer George Ankuma Mensah, kudos to George Efriye and Kurt. I think that all the 6 of them, and even Wilfred Palmer, although he didn't go through to the last place, they all came out with ideas and with a posturing. Mayfield say, Asama the interester in Ghana football, Eko Fumnu, a Saint Pejaka crowd. Where we are now is to help President Kurt to move it, to ride on the back of the energy that has been created. All right, not let it go down again. Let's just keep rising, take the decisions that will convince Ghana for say, yes, we've learned lessons from the mistakes of the past, and we are committed to ensuring that some mistakes no you repeat. That for me is the thematic direction that I would pray that President Kurt and the EXCO will take to consciously show to Ghana for say we are clearly and acutely aware of baby and going forward. No, we are not going to take you down that road again. It's not to say everything was, but there were good things about the past regime, and we have to continue those good things. But where we found say we didn't go very well, we didn't do very well. Necessarily, yeah, honest to yourselves and to Ghana for push Ghana football and continue.
Share Kurt yesu krekoni campaign in the eventual elections. A day now office Boano and my delegates as the president of the FA.
From my observation, I think or running what I'll call a strategic campaign, where Nanka say loud kakra, but where most of the Ejumano was more, you could see it was underground, if you like. I mean, it was with the delegates. Fine, says yeah, but public, yeah, you come public. I'm on several WhatsApp platforms. You could see the artworks are ever. The message was clear. The message was simply presented. And in communication, you want the message to be as simple as possible, because the people you are talking to, you want them to grasp the message easily and quickly. So I think that the communication was clear, it was simple, and seemed like the strategy had been very carefully thought through. You go through his manifesto, everything covered. I call it a comprehensive manifesto. I'm not saying the others didn't have strong manifestos, but Kurt is a thoroughbred football person. That's what I'll say. Obiao started in a coach club at the age of 16 or 17. I mean, he started very, very young. He's in his 4th decade, almost getting to the 5th decade. So was steady all the errors in those decades of Ghana football and got to a point where we say, these are the things that Ghana football needs. These are the kind of networks that we have to build. He talks about government and government collaboration in his manifesto. There are times where we have said, say, oh, government shouldn't interfere in football. No, it's about a symbiotic. It's an American word treat as a symbiotic. We want like to work together. Yeah. Between government and the FA. So he talks about that in the manifesto. Or Kasafa women's football, especially the women's football clubs in the manifesto. He talks about juvenile football. He talks about collaboration with schools and colleges. Or Kasafa PFAG, that's both active and non-active football players. So it's covered everything, and I think that it's that level of engagement. I wasn't in his campaign, but looking at the outcome of the election and looking at the commentary that comes out, going beyond that, talking to some of the people who were delegates in that Congress and how they thought about his manifesto. No, I think that those are the things that are working at the market in winning the election. Mind you, the beginning was a very, very tight thing. It was 44 for Ket and 40 for George at the first round. It was second round that quite a number, it appears, of the Nanaya supporters decided to follow Kurt, yes, and it probably is because they had similar themes in Womu messages. That's what I think, and they both came from very strong communication backgrounds. Point yes, and so I think the communication, they felt that say Nana you ain't winning and then you're from market. That's how I think the considerations went in their minds. But that's how I would describe Kurt's campaign and why I feel say winning election.
Clearly, I get the impression you've gone through his manifesto.
Yeah, I have.
Probably this will be the first time. But the status of the FA, the president does not have the absolute executive powers.
Yeah.
He has to work with the ESCO.
Yeah.
Do you foresee a conflict where, even though these ideas you say are brilliant, but ESCO can say this is not what the direction we want to go? Do you see a conflict between Niama Opesoye and the ESCO, no, Ejia Tumo, running along with it?
Well, firstly, I think that small correction. I mean, in 2011, there was a manifesto.
Yeah.
Yes, which was launched by Neil Armstrong-Mortagbe.
Yes.
Just so that
even before that, there was.
You said maybe there's a first time. So
I'm talking about electing a president based
on his manifesto.
And
yeah, I believe that President Nyantechi had a manifesto. Maybe it wasn't as written and as clear as we see. He had a certain way of mindset. Working. Yes, yes, and he also tapped into the Congress and its makeup and how to communicate with them. So, yes, it's good to have a written manifesto. It's good to have all the nice things you write in there. But beyond that, you should be able to execute it.
Sure.
Okay, so you're talking about conflict. Yes, if there's a conflict be bad between Nia Kate. I express it as a desire for Ghana for. What you say, at least from what I've seen in the manifesto, I would struggle to see how a member of your executive council wouldn't want those things for Ghana football. Maybe the form might be slightly different, and it's a question of Kurt's power to convince through debate. Look at different sides. Maybe ideas are great, but they need some level of balancing between Neonoka and then another executive council member Beka. Together, they need to succeed. Together, we need to succeed. We need to make Kurt Okreko as president succeed. It's not to say it's Kurt's ideas. No, he came on the back of those ideas, yes, but today, Kurt together with 11, and I think there's one extra person to be elected, who are the ones to implement projects and programs. Ghana football in Franca. So if it's through Kurt's ideas that Ghana's flag will fly high, let's implement. It's a few says, it's for them to discuss at EXCO level and ultimately come out with, I think, a development plan, 4 or 5 year plan of executing projects and programs. Ghana football right from the foundations to the apex at the Black Stars and the top level of the female football. No, I don't foresee too much conflict in there. I rather see collaboration.
You share the election of the 11 members. Does this inspire confidence?
Oh, I know quite a number of them. I think that the Executive Council is a quality field. Some long-serving football people in there. I look at Nana.
It was more of appreciating people.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of appreciating. Yes,
not people who, as Ubekano, times and seasons, or may up to it.
Oh, I think it's a mixture. Nana Safodro is not a child in Ghana football. Football, he's been in there forever. Ever since I started following football, Nana Sibosoro has been there. All right.
But Georgia Mwako, what it takes for the modern era.
Why not? when we say modern era, George, I mean, he's worked with TP Mazembe, all right, supporting them in their developmental projects. Yeah. Yes, I mean, if he's worked with somebody like Moise Katumbi, why can he not work for Ghana football? I don't. George Amwako has been in this game for forever. Okay, so yes, there's that longevity that we can play on. Randy Abe, he's been there. Went with us to World Cup. What's this guy? Fred Achi. Okay, I see him as he's been around, yes, but now he's leading Ashgo, which is one of our big clubs. Mercado is the one I don't know too much about, I have to confess. But he comes across Metene Numkasa, and he's a very level-headed person, a business-minded person. And for an FA that is looking to attract corporate people, he's one of the big assets I believe we have, in addition to Dr. Tony Orbin. 2005, we worked on the Goldfields sponsorship. He was corporate affairs there, and I had to go and convince them why they should sponsor the Black Stars. And together we formed a partnership. So Doc has been in at the national team level. Asanya board chairman of Mediama. So these are people who've been around football in different forms. And it's good that they've been around it in different forms. Some were media, very strong in the media before they went into club management. So they have a vast array of experiences. Me feel say so to me at the side experiences weave nias brofo can say a web, you know, like if I say you're kente, you are weaving a kente using the different strengths and knowledges and backgrounds and experiences of all these people. There is no conceivable reason why Ghana football cannot rise again. It's about working together, and that for me is the key. It's working together. It's how Kerr together with his vice president to be elected will pull the EXCO along, and beyond the EXCO, get the secretariat working, running like a well-oiled machine. Secretariat at Bebwa clubs, no secretariat that things run seamlessly. Everybody's working to his strengths. Bring a level of competence and drive in the secretariat, the confidence. Best every football person across from premier level, premier woman, premier men, all the way down to juvenile. That's the kind of secretariat you need. And when you have that secretariat, things work very smoothly. The job of the president to be more of the political side, you know, getting people to fall in life. And then the general secretary is working as a quasi chief executive, running the game from the FA. With this mix and with the regional FA chairman also falling in line, you get the club people ourselves, you know, those who run the clubs, their philosophy and the psychology of game, you know, where you talked about the modern side. The modern side today they are doing VAR, especially in the UK. But that is what you see. The world is going in a scientific way. So if we say we are a powerful football nation and we were once ranked top in Africa, we want to get to those levels again. I'm not saying say Yenfa VAR, but let's look at the science of your game now and help our administrators. Capacity building, big thing for me. This administration build the capacity of the administrators. Build the capacity of the clubs to appreciate all the scientific elements that echo into running a football club for profit. Okay, we call them not for profit. It's for profit. The people are making money. People are making millions. Neymar was sold for 222 million euro to PSG from Barcelona. Why can we not do it in Africa? You may not get the same quantum, so but say player free Ghana call the first move averagely about 500,000, 1 million, 1 million. The clubs will be well endowed. We can pay our players better. We can keep some of the quality here for a little longer. Neymar your leagues exciting, and then go for it. All these are captured in some form in the Game Changer Manifesto. I'm looking forward to the changing of this game. Over the next 4 years, our game has got to change. We are being led by the game changer. And I hope that in changing the game, he will pull everyone with the right levels of competencies along and build both the political, because there's a political system in the FA now. All right, but get that political system to support his technical system. I'm sure that we can get to the heights that we all deserve and desire.
And a vice president position, who do you think should be elected?
Well, I've talked about
who do you think is favorite?
Oh, for me, the favorite is the person
who wins.
He's the person who wins. But one can say 2 levels. So, going up to this election and knowing how political campaigns work, it is possible, say, Kurt's camp had to talk to some other camps and had to talk to some other people from those camps, yes. And so based upon that, in Sa and Komodie, they may have made some promises. They may have given some assurances, actually. Say, Kurt, we need Adena, and the Munipa say, And now, Muna Nipa Obeye vice president. I'm just thinking aloud. Again, I say I wasn't in those campaigns, but I'm talking of the generality of how politics works. So if that is the case, no, then the choice of the vice president, no, it will be more of a political choice.
Okay.
But if, however, there's that political choice going in there, if I win, another from Cote d'Ivoire,
agent.
Coach Noy. Coach Noy.
Okay, Charles, Kuvadio, encoding como ono, agent of Zakaria Sin, Yenko, six Waira, Yemisen Hifano. Charles, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you doing this morning, my brother?
Yeah, I'm fine. And you?
Where are you currently? Are you in Ghana or you are in Cote d'Ivoire?
No, I'm in Abidjan.
Oh, very nice. Very, very well. Where is the career sim? Because we are told he's missing.
Your source is very wrong.
Please.
Everybody knows that he's here in Abidjan.
So he's not missing?
Left behind. No.
He was left behind by who?
Yeah, because of what the management said. Management said they called me to inform him that they cannot guarantee security for now.
Which member of management placed that call to you, sir?
Not the face-to-face. The chairman, doctor told me.
Doctor told you personally?
Yes. Because after the match, we went back to the hotel, and the crowd that came for the match, all the way from Ghana, everybody were angry. They didn't touch anybody. They are oozing up their anger at the front of the hotel. So it took us time before we could enter into the hotel. So based on that, doctor called me, the chairman, that I should please inform Zakaria that for now, he cannot guarantee his security. That if what we have seen here in Abidjan can be like this, that means it must be something else. So he has to stay back. Yeah.
But when the coach was leaving the hotel, did he inform management?
Did he inform the management?
Yes, that he's leaving the hotel.
No, I was the one that informed the management. Because of security reasons, he needed to leave the hotel very late that night. All of them, I told them they are aware. Even when I talk with Zakaria before them, they are always by my side when I talk with him, because he only gives me access to talk. He was after the match. He was afraid because of the crowd and the rest. Yeah.
Okay, please. So when is he expected to return to Ghana?
Well, I think that depends on the management, because they are there in Ghana now and they know the situation. The wounds need to heal a little, because all the supporters, everybody is angry. Myself also, I'm not a happy man. But I know with time, the injury will heal, then he will return.
Charles, why are you not a happy man?
Yeah, I'm a supporter of Ashanti Kotoko. And everybody in my country here knows that I support Ashanti Kotoko. So, FC San Pedro beating me is like a laughing stock on me. Because if you check my Facebook, you will see all what I've been placing there. All their supporters have been telling me, Charles, you are from here and you are a supporter. I say, yes, it's my team. So at the end of the day, when FC San Pedro won, everybody were laughing at me. So, yeah.
But do you see the coach returning to the club as the head coach?
Well, I think it depends on the management, because when they send me a message to tell him because of security reasons, they still told me that I should inform him that he should resign. So I went ahead and I passed the information to Zakaria, and he told me he will not resign.
So the coach told you he will not resign?
Yes.
Is the coach planning to seek legal action against Kotoko?
Well, I still repeat, Ashanti Kotoko is we are one big family. So for now, nothing like legal action for now. It's a family affair, and I believe we know how to settle it amicably within us. It's a family affair, not a court or anything for now.
Many of the supporters of Kotoko believe that the coach should be fired. How do you take this news?
Well, the coaching job, as you know, is all about hiring and firing. When you are not giving the necessary results, the fans will call for a head. Had even the one on Sunday, the story would have been another thing. That he lose the match.
Sure.
So everybody have to pour their anger. It's normal. They are right.
But many believe in Ghana that your client, Zakaria Singh, is not a good coach.
Well, it depends on him. I can still give you so many people's contact to call, even here in Africa. It's a very good coach. For the fact that Mourinho loses matches or Pep Guardiola loses matches doesn't mean that he's a bad coach.
Yes, but they accuse your client of not having the requisite badges to be qualified as a good coach.
You said what? Come again?
Many accuse him of not having the requisite licenses, the requisite certificate to consider himself a professional coach.
I have answered that question so many times. If he doesn't have the necessary requirements, he will not coach a standard here in Ivory Coast. He will not coach work here in Ivory Coast, and he took them to Africa. So, likewise in Kotoko, if he can sit on the bench, that means he have the necessary requirements.
But some people in the management says he holds a provisional license from CAF.
You said what?
He holds a provisional license from CAF.
Yes, he do.
So what happens to his own certificate?
His what?
What happens to his own certificate?
Well, sometimes, you know, in football, sometimes you needed to upgrade it. It depends. In Ghana, it's the same certificate you use here in Ivory Coast. So I don't want to go into too much details about that. What I know is that he has the necessary license to coach any victim in Africa. That is just it.
I'm told you also served, Charles.
Yes.
I'm told you also serve as a middleman. The coach has been accused of taking money, throwing away the game. How true is it?
Please, anybody that is saying that, I am ready to face the person and one-on-one. Because if all of us will watch the game, nobody is happy about the result. But that doesn't mean that for the fact that we lose the match, then some people will start to fabricate some information. It's a lie. All of them, they know. Because I repeat again, before the match, at least 2 hours or 3 hours before the match, and the players and the coaches, all of them, they sat down, and everybody knows the list. So if the coaches, all the coaches, even the assistant coaches, the players, during their meeting, they didn't agree to the list. I think all of them can stay at just at the same time. So if they agreed and that was the list, please let us stop. You know, so many journalists in Ghana, they want to fabricate stories. And any news about Kotoko, that is what people want to hear. So please, I repeat again, there is nothing like that. It's never true, please.
So that's not the reason why he selected the players he did?
You said?
That is not the reason why he selected the team he did on that day.
Yeah, as far as for the team list, all of them are aware. I can't be in their meeting when the players and the coaches are doing their meeting and their selection. I wasn't there, but I believe all of them agreed before the list was announced. Because Zakaria Singh doesn't take a personal decision. No, I know him for something. Anytime he wants to do list, even the coaches, the assistant coaches, he called them around. All of them agree. That is him. For years, I know him for that. If the coaches want to be sincere with you, yes, they will tell you the same.
Charles, extend my regards to Zakaria Singh and his family.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us also on the show. Agent Emma Zakaria Singh, head coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Charles Kovadio, and I'm saying Neil, you've been smiling all morning.
Interview no but I appreciate the courage of Charles in coming to speak to the issues. But like I was saying earlier on, a crowd of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, you don't take them lightly. And everything that is happening to the coach, if you watch the commentaries, you watch the postures of the supporters, it tells you that these two clubs, and I told you what goes in consideration, and Sana Ibeyi coach. Now, coach at some point, no one to mean
take it pressure now. Won't to me. Especially when your technical competence is being called into question by all the constituent bodies of the club.
Supporters.
I mean, supporters, managers,
players,
directors. Everybody is questioning your competence. The honorable thing I think he should have done was to resign. But maybe he had the reasons why I was saying, on resigning. I cannot speak to too many facts about this situation. Compensation. Well, at the end of the day, whether he resigns or he's kicked out, there will have to be some collateral damage at Kotokobe taking. I mean, the two clubs have gone through these cycles with a few other coaches before, and I think Kotoko is big enough to handle this situation. It's just unfortunate, like I said earlier on. For me, I look to the larger interest of Ghana in all these conversations, that when Kotoko do well in Africa, when Hearts of Oak do well in Africa, when other Ghanaian clubs do well in Africa, it enhances your image in the game. And more importantly, it gives us 4 options in the competitions. It gives us 2 for CAF Confederations Cup and 2 for CAF Champions League. What would be sweeter than having 2 reps each, and those 2 reps go so far, and our pedigree keeps rising. And more importantly, when your pedigree rises in African game, it enhances the value of your players. That's the bottom line. Why are we in this game? We are not in this game for charity. We are in this game to bring development to several communities. We're in this game to ensure say Sika Ebetime raise it through football. No, Ebeba Ghana. Now Ghana I said earlier on, say for me, football and a few other sports, they are the sources of your comparative advantage. If we don't invest in them the way we should invest in them and push them the way we should push them, and they with me so as they say so it's a sad situation with the coach and with Kotoko, but I know that they will resolve and move forward. Listen, this is 1935 club. You shouldn't talk in denigrating terms about a club as large as Kumasi Asante Kotoko. When you do that, you see, they say somebody says when there's a fire in your neighbor's house, be sure to be watching your side and helping to put it out. We have to put out that fire and bring them back and come and play some wonderful derbies that will bring back the passion, that will reignite the passion, as Keto Kreku says, and create wealth for everyone.
Have a fabulous Wednesday.
What's the same? Oh, we can't have to focus on the fabulous. Who do I say you? All right, have a fantastic day.
Bro.
Bye.
It's all about Ghana. Ghana is all about Ghana. But I know that in the new era, part of Niaket Ekayeno, I see that it talks about the reigniting passion.
Me no say ina Ket manifesto.
But he's the president.
Manifesto. Now we're on the campaign. Were you part of his team?
He's the president of the Ghana Football Association.
Because he seems to even know the manifesto more than all of us. I
took everybody's manifesto.
Has full connection.
And then when I told myself, say, Mr. D Obiani manifesto. Once the manifestos are known to me before the election, I had in my mind who I thought could make this thing work. But you have to just be calm. When the delegates make their decision, now decision is PA, the manifesto that won is the one that you work with, true or false.
Yes.
When we hold elections in this country, and NDC, NPP, CPP, all the quick, they go and do the election. At the end of the day, whoever wins is come to implement his manifesto. Sure. So I can only speak to the manifesto of the game changer because he won the election. Sure. We can't speak to any other manifesto. His manifesto
but
is
many
the one.
People also think say manifestos ni nyina no brilliant ideas are say funny nyina na say the Ghana footballer able to do hold the same view.
I hold the same view. It's for the newly elected president Kurt and his executive council to look through all the manifestos and see where they can pull threads about Ghana football. Kurt himself said it in his acceptance speech. He's going to be relying on the ideas and thoughts of those he contested with. If Rebecca say a political talk, I don't see it as political talk. Where Ghana football got to last June, through all this normalization period, you can't be indulging in only political talk. Beyond political talk, there must be action. And people are looking for action from Kurt and the EXCO. They're looking for tangible actions. Number one, I keep saying it, that will win back the confidence. So I'm happy about Bring Back the Love, for example. But beyond Bring Back the Love, there are some media friends of ours say Bring Back the results. You see, because I had a Nigerian boss, American bro for Kasa, now they are country Kasa. Or Bibi or can say words are words. Say in Kasa Obe Kasa no, Kasa. Promises are promises. Ube Shebo. We always make promises. The manifestos are promises. Explanations are explanations. We promise our way and won't mean this into who explaining. Okay, but performance is the only reality. Say we be performing, and whatever you said, no, you are living up to it, and you went further. Performance is the true measure. Performance. Your courage, your confidence, and your competence. A lot of times we look at courage and confidence, say Kasa as a lion and all that, but at the end of the day, courage, confidence, and competence. And I believe the EXCO, led by Kate, they have these three mixes. The most important thing for me is how they can blend it and let their collective courage come through. Let their collective confidence come through. Let the diverse competencies and now Ghana for year then.
Yeah, one of the major decisions in the election of the vice president. Now, yeah.
Yes, now Kasa about vice. So sure. I mentioned some of the names. I also mentioned Sami. You interviewed Sami and Nimado,
sure.
A very good friend of mine. We talk a lot about grassroots football. Yeah, I'm part of a movement that's called Revive Coast Football. We are a movement. But let's come back to the election. I talked about the political side based upon the various compromises and the alliances that had to be built. The technical side would be Kurt is a human being, or baby, or you're strong, or baby, or him, obey him. So the technical side, I make kind of say, candidates are now obi our ex-kunum obe complementing Kurt in baby, or here help no is the technical choice that they can make this. Samia, though he didn't even tell you the time. I'll say on time no on baby on May election but whatever it is to do the election. So you're looking at it from a political side or a technical side. At the end of the day, the statutes give the mandate to the executive council. It's for them to look at what they want to achieve as a body. And if Kurt has a preferred choice amongst them, no, it's the power of convincing Womono say, look, listen, I have these sides as my strong sides. I feel I need these sides also to support me. Or there are other considerations as an ex-con we have to take to ensure that we have a presidency of the FA that can push us to the level that we all want it to get to. A lot will depend also on him and how he convinces them to support his agenda. But for me, in the long run, whoever comes out as the vice president, I believe will be somebody who will complement Kurt and who, more importantly, will support him and support him with loyally. You know, we want to see an EXCO that is united in purpose. There were different opinions about how things will go, but every time in one more public posturing, you know, there should be that sense of unity that look, we are in this together. We may differ in the boardroom. We are called EXCO meeting, a debating, but when we come out, it's one GFA EXCO. When you have that kind of mind, led by a president with the energy of Kurt, I believe that we shall bring this football back to where it ought to be and bring back the love that Ghanaians genuinely have for their football.
Neil Armstrong-Mortagbe, former MD, Accra House of Folk, and I'm saying, AD and Kombono.